gonna work.
I know. Joshua?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Carla today.
You did?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How's she doing?
She looks good. She looks like 60 pounds.
Really?
Red
Yeah,
flag
that's what happens when
warning
you hang
not
out
to
in
burn
Florida.
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
They got a red flag
You know,
warning
well,
not
I'm
to
telling
burn.
Okay,
But I
so
went
you
out
know,
for that new housing
homeostasis.
development, that big
If
pile
you're
of
living
wood
in
that
a warm
pushed back to
climate,
the head
your
of the
body
burn.
is like, hey, I don't need to hold
It
all
smelled
this
like fall.
because it's not
Smoked
going
like
to
fall.
get cold, so I don't need it.
100%.
It's
This
homeostasis.
afternoon,
So
I drove
we're
down.
here in the Midwest
I got 61
trying to
lots here.
diet and lose weight, and your body's like, it's going to be cold soon. I can't let you get rid of all that. They're like,
No basements.
your body says, I'm going to let
No
you keep that last 20. That last 20 you can't get
I don't
rid
care
of.
how hard you work.
I don't. You can work out 5 days a week.
We are live.
I slapped with it. Some of them have, I noticed just about
And we
that.
have 1 minute.
Okay.
They just started.
Yeah, homeostasis does that.
Then I guess Rich was telling me, one model,
All right, here we go.
wanted to sell it, well, they raised the price on it.
Ready?
It's selling so well.
Welcome to London City Council meeting. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silent reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk, could you please take our roll call?
Councilman Eads,
Here.
Councilman Peters, Councilman Robinson,
Here.
President Comer,
Present.
Councilman Hayes,
Present.
Councilman Hitt,
Here.
Councilman Stahl.
Present.
All right. And has everyone had a chance to take a look at our minutes from April 6th meeting? Any changes, corrections, or discussion? All right. All in favor of approving those minutes, say aye.
All right.
All right. Opposed, same sign. All right. We do not have any public hearings this evening. No communications and announcements.
We had one sign in, Larry.
Do we have?
did.
And we have one sign in there.
Yeah. I don't know that you got that sheet, but Larry signed in.
Okay.
Sorry.
And then on to our audience concerns. And what's your name? Last name? Okay. Okay. And if you could just please go to the podium, state your name and your address, please.
My name is Larry Gessel, G-E-S-S-E-L. I'm the owner of Gessel and Associates Insurance Agency. We're operating out of 27 East 4th Street.
Okay.
Three or 4 months ago about an ongoing, can you guys hear me okay?
You might
Maybe-
want-
No.
You may have to turn that on.
Oh, did it shut off?
Okay.
It was on or something. It
We
was
just-
just working.
We both just checked.
Yeah, it was just working.
Like yell loud.
That better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start from the top.
Okay, Larry Gessel, Gessel and Associates Insurance Agency, 27 East 4th Street. A year ago, February, we relocated our insurance agency office to the corner of East 4th and Union Street. Turn right at McDonald's, first cross street, go past Conn's Automotive, house that's on the northwest corner. We knew before we bought the property that there was an ongoing parking problem there. The problem is generated by Mr. Khan's vehicles that are literally all up and down Union Street and East 4th. And Mr. Khan does the best job he can of trying to keep people out of our parking spots. He tries to move vehicles that park there, but the problem is that with the nature of his business, there's more vehicles on the street than can be accommodated. Residents are dispatched from their own parking spaces in front of their houses, so there's a constant shuffling of vehicles. Mr. Khan's a very nice man. I know he does work for the London Police. I spoke to the London Police about what could be done. and they stated to me that vehicles should not be parked on the street for any commercial purpose, and certainly not more than 24 hours. They have towed a few vehicles on occasion, but largely the problem goes ignored because people don't want to create problems, nor do I. But yet, I have to have the ability for people, for our customers, to be able to park within reasonable proximity of our place of business. So when I spoke to Mayor Pat about this some months ago, he had proposed, if I recall our conversation correctly, that perhaps I should come to council and see if maybe we could put up some 2-hour parking signs, like a little T-post with, instead of no parking, something that would limit it to 2 hours, where it's just a really ongoing problem. I think everybody's kind of aware of what's going on through there, and I don't know what the solution might be, but that's what I'm here to discuss, to see if anyone might have suggestions on that.
What was the address?
It's 27 East 4th, the corner of East 4th and Union.
So behind the Methodist church, right?
Yes, sir.
What used to be Mr. Lonergan's office?
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct. Yep.
It's been an ongoing problem, like you say, for quite some time, and at one point we had it kind of settled down, but
We currently, best of my knowledge, we do not have a ordinance authorizing 2-hour parking. So to accommodate what he's asking, we probably have to take committee and get something drafted up as an ordinance that says that we have 2-hour parking in designated spaces, and then we can put the signs up. But right now, we don't have that ordinance in our.
You remember we ran into this before, and it had to be passed by you guys.
yeah,
McDonald's, same thing,
McDonald's.
just on the other side.
Same thing, so
okay.
this falls on the city council if you guys would like to make legislation to set up that 2-hour parking.
How many spaces would you be looking at doing that?
We can only accommodate 3 or 4 at most. It's not a lot, just enough for people to straggle in when they need to.
And you prefer those, of course, just right in front of your building there or on the side?
There's room for 2 right in front, yes, sir. Room for 2 right in front and 2 on the side. So it's a corner lot.
Okay.
One of the 2 on the side, my office gal gets there early enough that she's normally able to secure a spot for her vehicle. And then we've got a driveway that can accommodate 2, so we do the best we can, but there's times where we're parked a block away, and the residents that I've spoken to are quite angry. I don't understand Mr. Khan's business practices. I've insured a lot of garages over the years, and normally you don't have vehicles sitting at a garage for weeks and weeks and months on end, but there are vehicles that are on the street that haven't been moved in months. It's a problem. So I know he would like to be able to move. He tried to get space behind the fire department. He was told he couldn't do that. But I see him all day long just trying to shuffle. He's running, he's a nice man, and apparently he does a heck of a good job because he's got a lot of people waiting on him. But his business has certainly encroached on our ability to conduct our business. So that's why I'm here. And if you guys have other suggestions, I'm certainly receptive to hearing them.
I think probably the best thing to do would be bring it to safety committee, and we draft a legislation where we can put the 2-hour parking in over there. You say you need 2 to 4 spaces, correct?
Yes, sir.
2 front, 2 to the side. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't want to inconvenience him again. I don't think he needs to come to safety.
Mm-mm.
You guys want to put it on the safety agenda and speak about it, but if you have any questions, I would, try to get them out of the way now. I know everybody's busy and trying to make another night meeting, and then maybe Henry has his information, so you guys want to call him or email him.
Right, or unless you're able to make it to that meeting so you
I
can
can come.
bring that personally yourself,
Sure,
because I know some
I'm happy
people are
to do
comfortable
that.
with that.
Are you able to make
Okay.
like the certain hours, just like the snow removal, where you say you can park in like a Monday through Friday, like, what are your hours, 8 to 5, basically?
Typically, yes, sir.
Like, just saying 2-hour parking from 8, I'm just throwing out ideas, but
Right.
like a Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, this is a 2-hour parking, and then has to be out by 8 o'clock or,
Yeah, so maybe that's something we could look at for,
I think Mayor
safety
Pat
meeting.
said that we probably could not do parking for Gessel and Associates only, that would be exclusionary and non-public. Yeah, yeah. Ideally, and I feel badly for the residents because on the one hand, I'm asking for a carve-out, if you will, for special treatment of my business, but honestly, the residents all up and down through there are being inconvenienced just as much as me, if not more. I mean, this is a really big problem. And it's a problem that really shouldn't exist. But it is what it is, and it's been this way for a very long time. And, you know, I spoke to John again at London Police, and he's a nice man, and he said, well, we thought we had this under control. Well, we tow away, and then the problem reappears in a week or so. But yeah, I've got vehicles right now that have been there for a week and never moved. So he's breaking the law, but I guess if I were in his position, maybe I'd be doing the same thing, trying to run my business and making the best of a bad situation. He doesn't have enough room to run his business, I guess. But anyway, I appreciate the council's time.
Our next Public Safety Committee meeting will be on May 9th.
Okay.
It'll be in this room right back here
Okay.
at 5 o'clock. If you'd like to come in, we'd be glad to have you.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see if we can get something, get together with the law director, see if we can get
9th at 5.
something up.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions before I go?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Appreciate you
Consider
coming
it.
in.
Appreciate it.
It'll be on the website and on the city calendar. You can use it.
All right, and on to our committee reports. We begin with Mr. Eads.
Well, I did attend the finance meeting since our last meeting. Really, it was kind of a light schedule there. We did talk, there were some things that came up at the finance meeting that we did not move forward with. The HDRC, the Historic Downtown Revitalization, Revitalization Committee. They were on the agenda. They did not show. I've talked to someone. One person wasn't aware. I don't know if the gentleman that was supposed to be, if he was aware. We discussed the possibility of another abatement coming before council. I don't think we see that yet. And the policy and procedure manual updates. Rex Castle has sent that to all of us to look at. We didn't take any action on that either. So really the only thing that was going to come up was one thing for the police department that we'll address in new business.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Robinson?
I have nothing other than, the next, I didn't look it up, May 3rd, I'm sorry, I do have it written down. May 3rd, 6 o'clock, public service, public service meeting in the room behind us. I'll get it together one.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hayes?
Okay, attended the Public Safety Committee meeting on 4/11. All three committee members were present. The minutes for the March 14th, 2023 meeting were approved. Under new business, we talked about a land bank. Our law director, Mrs. Hitt, was there. I'm going to just read part of this out to you. So there's legislation on the agenda tonight about this. It's a new ordinance for the designating the Madison County Land Reutilization Corporation to act on behalf of and in cooperation with the city pursuant to sections 5722.02 to 5722.15 of the ORC, and authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into an agreement to facilitate the effective reutilization of non-productive land situated within the cooperation limits. This will allow Madison County Land Reutilization Corporation to renovate and sell foreclosure properties and abandoned homes. The sale of these properties will pay for any taxes owed to the city, and any balance left over will go back in the Madison County Land Reutilization Corporation renovation program. There was a motion to bring it to council, and was sponsored by Councilman Hitt and Councilman Stahl, and it is on the legislation for tonight. Chief Police was in with his report. Mr. Hitt will give that report. Fire and EMS Chief was in. Mr. Stahl will give that report. Under old business, we talked about feral cats. There's a resolution on the agenda tonight to take care of this. There'll be an amendment made on this resolution, and we adjourned at 5:40. Next Public Safety Committee meeting will be on May 9th at 5 p.m. in the conference room. Thank you.
All right. And it's good to see here Resolution 15523, a resolution designating a Madison County Land Reutilization Corporation Act, basically a land bank. When I ran for mayor 8 years ago, this is one of the things that I brought to, that I was going to bring was a land bank. It's really popular in Columbus. It's really popular in Cleveland, Ohio. And it helps to get rid of properties that are blighted properties in the area, properties that are falling apart, and it allows the city to take possession of those through different avenues in order to either demolish those properties or take over those properties, revitalize them, and make them actually livable, so that you could get property taxes from those, and that way you could abate the nuisance in the neighborhoods. So it's good to see that 8 years later this is actually coming up, because like I said, that's one of the things I would have done back then. So it's good to see. Mr. Hitt.
Yeah, I attended the safety committee meeting, and I'll give the police chief's report that he submitted for that meeting. They're continuing the hiring process for an open officer position until April 21st. Derek Haddock was sworn in on April 11th. He recently graduated from Clark State's Basic Academy. This leaves one open position still to be filled. The flock safety camera project is expected to be completed late April. This project places 7 fixed license plate readers throughout the community to assist in crime prevention investigations. The cameras will alert officers to any hits on the NCIC system. Reimbursement costs of this project have been sent to the NPI under the Rural Violent Crime Reduction Program. They have one vehicle being repaired at the body shop for a recent crash with a deer. Car number 15 was placed back in service after completing engine replacement. Sergeant Harris and Chief Nickel attended a first responders response to railroad incidences class held at the Norfolk Southern Rail Yard in Bellevue, Ohio. And they submitted funding requests through Mike Carey's office with the government on behalf of the city for a public safety facility project. The amount of that could be up to $12 million with a 45% match from the city. They may know the results of that by the October. They received a quote of $4,000 to complete an architectural design for the renovation of the current police department facility. And that's it.
All right, thank you. Mr. Stahl?
I also attended the Finance Committee and the Safety Committee, and I have the Fire EMS report. It's for April 23rd, 23 summary of safety for the Safety Committee. Activities and events: departmental EMS training, respiratory emergencies, departmental fire training, pump and drivers training, completed several CPR classes, completed interviews for the full-time candidates and part-time candidates, completed Lieutenant Assessment Center, certified results, Rob Randall, began mounting equipment on the new fire engine that's not in hiding, and awaiting additional mounting. They're saving $60,000 by putting the stuff on and the brackets in-house. Completed several days of drivers and pump training on the new fire engine. Attended paramedic graduation for Austin Foltz. Direct transport vehicle has been picked up by a repair shop that's currently awaiting repairs. A loaner transport vehicle delivered by a repair shop and placed in service. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. All right, on to our city official reports.
Alrighty, thanks for coming out. On Tuesday, April 11th, I had the honor of swearing in our newest London Police Officer, Officer Derek Haddix. Just want to welcome him to the department, and I wish him the best of luck as he starts his career here with the City of London. I, along with some other people here from City Hall, attended the active shooter training that was put on by the London Police Department, the Madison County Chamber of Commerce, and the Madison County EMS. Very informative. It was a great training, and it was very well attended. We had it in this room, and this place was packed. So it was just a great training. Was able to learn some stuff, especially with what's kind of going on around the world these days. So it was just nice. That was in conjunction with the Safety Council that the Madison County Chamber of Commerce does with the Ohio Bureau of Workmen's Comp. The team met about an upcoming study that we're going to start doing on the sanitary sewer lines. This study will help take a look into our lines and find out where there are issues. We hope this will help identify some of the I&I issues as well as other issues that may occur when we have heavy rains, and maybe we get some rain that from the storm sewer that enters into the sanitary sewer lines. So we're going to break it down into sections and start doing a section at a time and get the data back, kind of see where we have issues with our sanitary sewer lines so we can start addressing those. If you did not know, London Fire Department and EMS are having coffee with firefighters. If you haven't been able to attend, I was able to go and sit in and have some coffee with the guys. 9 to 10 a.m., and they're doing it the first and third Thursday of the month. But I thought they also were doing them on Tuesdays. I have to double check that, but I know they've been rotating back between Valerie's and London Coffee Peddler. You can get on their Facebook page and get more information about that. But if you guys have time, stop by, have a cup of coffee with the guys, talk to them a little bit. I did meet with a site selector who represents developers. So sometimes we have these meetings and there are companies that come in and they ask a lot of questions. We give a lot of information, and then they take it back to their network and start helping kind of be the middleman between a municipality and a developer. So the meeting went very well. Very sharp young man, and he was able to get a lot of information from us, a lot of information on where available land is, some of the things that we offer as a city, how we do things. So he's now going to take that back to developers, and hopefully this will spur into something else good for the City of London. I'd like to welcome Doc's Dermatology to London. The Madison County Chamber of Commerce had their ribbon cutting for them this past week, so we have a dermatology place here in London now. So they are located out on Elm Street in the Madison Health Building out on Elm, which is right next to London Health and Rehab across the street from the fairgrounds. So stop out and say hello to those guys. Fun fact is the number 11,000. So I was able to attend the Junior Achievement Wine and Women event and was their quote-unquote auctioneer for the event. They were able to raise over $11,000 here in Madison County that will help fund the local junior achievement classes. So they used to do it every year here, then COVID hit, and then they were trying to get back in the groove of things, and we're having just one event for all the counties that Junior Achievement of Mad River Region covers. And they were just doing one big one, and now they're coming back out. So it was a very nice event. Everybody had a real good time. I do also want to thank Junior Achievement of the Mad River Region because they informed me that they were going to honor me as their Volunteer of the Year for the whole Mad River region. So it was very unexpected, but very nice that they wanted to give that to me. So in May, they're having their big event for couple donors and some things that they've done. And as always, we're always looking for junior achievement teachers. So if you guys have some extra time or know anybody who has some extra time, one class takes about 5 hours, but you can do it 1 hour at a time. Get into the classes and teach kids about They have one about government, one about neighborhoods, one about small business. There's just a plethora of things you can teach to all the different classes. So they're always looking for volunteers, so just look them up, Junior Achievement of the Mad River Region. So that is all I have. I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you. Anything else? Do you have anything, Rex or Kenneth?
Just give a quick update.
Okay.
I was appointed to sit on the Madison County Land Reutilization Corporation. I'm one of the board members of 7 that are on that board. We've been basically going through all the organizational steps, getting our bylaws set up and everything. One of the pieces that they need is an MOU between all the cities and villages with the county corporation, so we can work together, and that legislation's in front of you tonight. That's basically all I got right now.
Okay. Thank you. All right. On to old business.
Henry, I have just one
Yeah,
more thing. I just
okay,
want to
go
mention.
ahead.
You guys still have that legislation in front of you
Yeah.
about the Parks and Rec. Landon is at an event for one of his kids. He said he's going to try to be here when we get to that piece of legislation. If he's not here, Rex and I have some information on that. So just want to give you.
Okay,
a
I'm
heads up.
saying because that is coming up.
Yes.
Is at the very top.
He said 7 o'clock, so he's going to be cutting it close.
Let's see. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So right now we're on to our old business, and we have our tabled item 15122. Did we have any further updates on that?
Remain tabled for the time being. I tried to talk with somebody up there today, and there was a issue come up with an emergency in the office, and anyway, I told him I'd call back and talk to him later.
All right.
So,
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Go ahead. Yes.
Well, we've had this on our table for 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at some point, the time should run out. And if they're not going to move forward, I think we should kill it. They can always bring it back.
No, I don't think the time runs out. We can leave that tabled as long as we like to have it
Well, we
on there.
can, but should we?
I think we
I
should.
mean, I would think there would be, in the 9 months, there's had to be things that have changed. They're going to have to change legislation anyway.
Yeah.
I
No.
think when they come back.
Well, not necessarily. I think that with the way that the project is going, that there's a lot of moving parts to it. And I think it's better just to leave it on and leave it right where it's at. Mr. Mayor, did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I actually text Jim today from
Okay.
Pulte.
Jim Holt.
So we've been in close contact. So the end of last month, we talked, and then we went out to lunch, and they are working through the contract. As we talked about, there's some things with the wetland area, and they may have to get rid of 1 or 2 lots, and so all that stuff changes the price, and the price is always changing of what things are worth, right? So they are working through the contract. He was really hoping to have it to us by like the 7th. So it was the day after your guys' last meeting. Contacted him today, and like Rich said, there's been some things going on, but he said that we're still working on it, and that they have another call tomorrow to try to finalize the deal. So
Okay.
it seems like since we've put it on the table, it seems like they're getting closer and closer. There was a long lull. I'll agree with that. But, I would say don't take it off yet. Give it a little bit more time. Thank you.
And that's exactly how I feel about it, too, because there are lots of moving parts when you go into business transactions with property and things like that. So sometimes they need just a little bit more time. All right, on to our third reading, Resolution 13523, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, could you please read the resolution?
Resolution 135-23, sponsored by Josh Peters, a resolution increasing appropriations.
And this is the legislation, and we are 657.
Okay. So this will be great because he'll probably walk in right after I read what he sent. So he's just asking that it be left on for the 4th reading. They had a choir concert, that's what it was. So if the ball field legislation comes up before I get there, we have 47.5 tons of field mix on site to add to Merrimack Field 2. Once added and graded, we will have a better idea of how much field mix each diamond will need and have a better idea of the total money amount needed to renovate all 3 fields. They plan on adding the field mix tomorrow morning. Hopefully that's before the rain, weather pending. And then he said he hoped to be at council by 7, but as we can see. So he's just asking that it be left on so we can get a better idea of what we actually need and need money-wise. Thank you.
Any questions there for Resolution 13523? Thank you for that update. On to resolution, for the second reading, Resolution 15123. A motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Clerk, could you please read the resolution?
Resolution 151-23, sponsored by John Stahl, a resolution to establish a trap, spay, neuter return program.
At our last meeting, we decided to change the $68 for $100 for the neutralization. I never say that right. Euthanasia, I guess. Or getting rid of the cats. You can't say that. So I have to move a motion to change that part over to that.
So we amended that to add the $68 at the last meeting.
We had 68 at the last, on the,
So that doesn't get reimbursed to us, correct?
please?
That doesn't get reimbursed to us, correct?
No.
So that's only gonna help 50 cats out of that $5,000?
No,
Yeah.
no, that part.
Go ahead.
So that part is if a cat was hit. This was for euthanization.
Euthanization.
Well, I thought also if the
It's
cat,
$10 reimbursement for.
but I also
for-
thought that didn't she say something about if the cat came in and was old and was not
Then
gonna
they
be
would
good?
euthanize it. She didn't know what the cost would be. We assumed it was $68. You guys amended it to 68. She's since found out it's gonna be more like 100. So you guys are gonna have to change it to 100.
So how often are we gonna,
That doesn't happen she said that once in a while you might get one that needs to be euthanized or neutralized.
Can I add to this a
Yes.
little bit? So I actually had a long talk with Dave Mabe yesterday, and I think he's one of the driving forces behind that. He and his daughter personally have caught 50 cats, so that's quite a few. He explained to me something I must not have picked up on is that he personally can send away, and maybe the city can send away to get vouchers or certificates. To spay or neuter a cat's much more than $10, but it covers everything pretty much but the $10. So this would reimburse a citizen the $10 that they would pay. However, there's a certificate that covers most of that. Now he's doing that personally. I don't know if the city is going to get those certificates to help people out because that'll cover the majority of the cost.
Mr. Casman?
I wish Tammy was here because that is not the way she brought it, that to me anyway. She said that the individuals will get the coupons, they'll pay for them, and then whenever a cat gets spayed or neutered, we would reimburse them. They would bring in a thing saying it was done. We would reimburse them $10. That it is true, it does cost more than that, but these clinics participate in the program where they do it for the coupons, which I believe are $10. I don't think the person will only be out $10 until it's reimbursed. I do not think they'll be out more money.
Right, but I think the coupon actually pays a greater amount to the clinics.
Yes, it's through a
Right.
program
Right, so the only thing that a citizen would be out would be the $10.
until they
And-
bring it, until they get a cat fixed.
Yes. Now,
They bring it in, we'll
yeah,
reimburse
now, is the city, because Dave Mabe thought the city was going to buy some traps.
Yes, that's correct. That's part of this legislation.
Okay, so we'll have traps that people can rent or sign out or do something for a time period.
The traps will be located at the police department. It'll be administered by the dispatchers. The people can come and check those out and use them. You're correct.
All right. Okay.
Now we need to go back to Mr. Stoll, I believe.
Mr. Stahl?
And I move
to amend it.
Move to amend 68 to change it to 100.
Okay, for what?
please? Oh,
For what?
no.
I just
I'm not
wanted to hear
gonna-
you
I'm
say
not
it again.
gonna-
For euthanasia. Okay, so we have a motion to amend, to add the euthanization.
Second.
All right. Clerk, could you please take the roll call to amend, 15123?
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Stahl, what's your wishes?
You want to leave it on for another reading? Make sure Mayor has it. Or do you want to do it now?
I'd leave it on.
You want to leave that on?
I mean, you just upped it $32 for euthanasia. I mean, I don't,
Was
I
up
think
to
we're gonna run out of the money quickly with euthanasia at $100.
You think?
Did
Well, because they're
Mr.
only going to do it if it's like a sick animal or one that's hit or something like that, which doesn't happen that often.
I mean, that's $5,000 just to kill a cat. And that's with all the equipment, so it's gonna be less than that. It's gonna be about, I don't know how many traps are in the buying.
But this ordinance doesn't have the 5,000. That's the next ordinance
Yeah.
too. There's two
Are we on
parts.
51?
We're on 51.
Oh, shoot, sorry. I spoke out of turn. I'm looking at the wrong one.
Well, no, you're right. I mean, they dovetail together, but
I just leave them on. But that's up to you guys.
Did you notice that the one that I sent out with the amendments has the $100 on it?
Yes, they're both
Okay.
added on there. So we want to leave do we want to leave 15123 on? I think we would need to because we would need 5 in order to suspend, and we're not going to get that. So do we want to leave 15123 on? Okay. On to resolution 15223, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, could you please read the resolution?
Resolution 152-23, sponsored by John Stahl, a resolution increasing appropriations.
This goes along with the other one. This is the traps and flea treatment for the cats.
Okay. And of course, we just discussed this. So, do we need to amend this one too to add the $100? We need to amend that one.
yes.
Yes.
So,
Make a motion to amend 15223 to add the $100 fee that we've put in to take care of euthanasia of a cat.
okay. And then we have a second.
Second.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call for amending 15223.
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
Okay. 15223 has been amended. On to resolution 15323.
So we're gonna leave this on, right?
Yeah, we want to leave this one, correct, because it goes along with the other.
Can we have further discussion before we
Yeah,
move
let's
on?
have anyone further discussion on 15223.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, this is not an annual payment. This is a one-time of $5,000, I do believe. However, I would expect if we would run out of money that we could re-up that, or would probably be expected to re-up that every year. Unless this is really going to be a line item every year, I don't know. Kenna? So we are expecting that amount every year? Okay. Right, and we would do that at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year to approve those funds? Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's all I had. Just
Yeah, because I would imagine with the growth of those cats, because $5,000 is not going to cover it. We're going to need quite a bit more than that.
Well,
It will be a program that needs to continue.
true, but the more that they take off the street and they spay or neuter, the less babies there's going to be.
Long term.
Yeah.
So I imagine at the beginning there's going to be quite a bit. I know you talked to Dave Mabes, and that's right behind where my business is at, and there always seems to be new cats all the time. People drop them off right in that area. I don't know if they know that
They know Dave
cats
takes
get
care
fed
of
there or something, but there's all brand new cats from somewhere. I'll come out and there will be 8 new kittens just running around.
He told me he's trying to catch the baby maker.
Yeah.
That she keeps eluding him.
Yeah, he has lots of traps on my property and as well as
Yeah.
his, and they're pretty slick. So, all right. Any further discussion? 15223. All right. On to 15323, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Ordinance 153-23, sponsored by Rich Hayes, an ordinance amending Section 416 of the Codified Ordinances.
This resolution has to do with trains and railroad cars going through the city limits. We'd be placing a speed limit of 30 miles per hour on said trains going through the city limits. We do have, there is, at the end of this, there is a way to recover. You have to file a civil suit, and the money is not that much, but I guess we've talked about this a few times, and police chief and one of his officers were with the railroad and talked to them about some things. So if we can just keep them at 30 miles per hour or under going through the city, I think we'll be in good shape.
All right, any further discussion on 15323?
No, just to bring it up because I wasn't aware when you brought it up the last meeting, there was a second part to this that the fine's useless. I mean, it doesn't have teeth. But when you brought it up that there had been a discussion, I didn't hear anything more about that. The discussion that this would maybe assist the city if a train does overturn. You know, it creates the situation. Now we have something to go off of. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't aware of that. I haven't heard anything more unless you have any more you'd like to add to that discussion.
Actually, that's right. And I haven't talked to the chief from what they've had. So I can get with him and see what he has and give you some more information next council meeting.
Okay. Sounds good. Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right, on to our new business. Resolution 15423, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, could you please read the resolution?
Resolution 154-23, sponsored by Greg Eads, a resolution increasing appropriations.
So there was a police cruiser that was involved in an accident. We did receive from the insurance company $4,249. That goes into the general fund. We're trying to reappropriate that so that the police chief can use this to make repairs to a damaged cruiser.
All right, so what are our...
They probably need the money, so
Yes.
I would make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule on it.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and second to suspend. Clerk, could you please take the roll call for suspension?
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes. Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, first and second for adoption. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
All right. On to Resolution 15523, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 155-23, sponsored by Andrew Hitt, a resolution designating the Madison County Land Reutilization Corporation to act on behalf of and in cooperation with the city pursuant to sections 5722.02 to 5722.15 of the Ohio Revised Code, and authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into agreement to facilitate the effective reutilization of non-productive land situated within the cooperation limits. Words are hard today.
All right, so this is what Mr. Hayes and Mr. Comer talked about earlier. It would be allowing the city to enter into contract with the county for the land reutilization program. And I think Rex can give more details on that.
I think Henry kind of touched on most of it already. The purpose of the land bank is their main mission is to strategically acquire properties, people that are way behind on taxes, that aren't to be found anywhere, partially burnt down homes, totally run down homes. to either refurbish them or tear them down and make a lot available for a new home, reducing blight in the area, increasing property values, and basically supporting the community goals and improving the quality of life and for the county residents. The proceeds that they would get would go to try to offset delinquent taxes, and then if there is money left over, that would go to the land bank to help them on future projects.
And
Would
again,
this have helped with the land off of Lincoln where we're trying to get tore down?
Say that again, I didn't hear.
The
what you-
one that was on Graham or someplace down there.
We've already tore that house
No,
down.
I mean, would that have helped?
That would have helped with that. We could have had them do that. You know, that's, we had to take that out of our own general fund to get that done. So once this all the legalese is done and we get the MOUs finished and get them operating, we could basically turn that over to the land bank. They would acquire the
Okay,
property
good,
and tear it down through their funds instead of our funds. So it's going to help save the city money.
that's good. Yes.
Wouldn't we still have to follow the same procedures before that could be torn down, though?
Yes.
We can't just tear.
Legally, we'd have to do that. Once we get to the court's permission that we have that property, then we would turn it over to the land bank.
So they would use their funds to do that, but we'd still have to follow the same procedures. We couldn't shortcut the procedures at all.
No.
Is there in your mind, and I think there probably isn't, but is in your mind, is this a conflict to have you as the person authorized to do this for the City of London and also sit on their board?
Well, it would be the same thing for the other communities that has the same person that I am sitting on their boards.
Well, I haven't seen their legislation. That's why I'm asking about this one.
They're all working on their legislation right now. To be a part of this, they have to have the MOU in place to participate in the land bank program. If you don't have that in place, they're not going to help those municipalities out. So, I think it's structured after other counties the way they've done theirs, and I think that people from the city sit on those boards also, so I don't necessarily see it as a conflict of interest. It's a hand-in-hand situation as far as I'm concerned. We're going to do the legwork and get everything legally done to where we can assume the property, and then we'll turn it over to them to either revitalize it or tear it down and fix the property up for resale.
But now, from what you said a few minutes ago, it goes to the land bank. So
Any profits goes to the land bank. I mean, they're going to pay out money to tear it down, pay off back taxes. If there's money left over, they will they'll be allowed to keep that money for other projects and acquisitions.
Okay, so then down the road, because I haven't had a chance to read this, so I won't move to suspend rules on this, but because I'd like to read it. But down the road, if we just use that same property that John was talking about as an example, that went through the process, the land bank, because we have went through the process, it's allowed to be torn down. The land bank tears it down. They take any proceeds, or they have the land at that point. They sell the land. Any proceeds from that are going to pay off taxes first, and then anything else goes, taxes and the other expenses, I guess. Anything else goes back into the funds of the land bank.
Well, let me rephrase what I just said. That's the way I understand it. We've only had 2 meetings, and all of it's been in the structuring of the articles and so forth, so we really haven't got into the nitty-gritty. That was just my assumption that that's how
Okay, that's fine. I'm just thinking this out a little bit. So then, down the road, the land bank controls the money, and there's a board of people that control the projects and the money. And if the city has a project that the land bank approves, that money comes, or whatever comes from the land bank. But they are in control as a group.
Correct.
Okay. That's what I thought. I mean, I've read a little bit about land banks in the past, but I don't know how they're all structured.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit organization, so they're not going to have large amounts of money they're going to keep. I'm going to assume they're going to use it for other types of projects to revitalize neighborhoods in some of the properties they get, whether they make a little park or whatever. I'm not sure. I'll update you as I find out more information.
Sounds good. Now, also, too, I am glad to hear about this. Like I said, this is something that I brought up 8 years ago, except I wanted to do this for the City of London. So then the City of London, like Mr. Eads was discussing, would actually keep any extra funds that are created through that, where those funds would go into our coffers. So this will be actually ran through the county, but I wanted to run this through the city 8 years ago, where we would keep any funds, and because I think that would be fair if it's properties in the city that we work on and get that done, that we would keep the dollars on that. And we could have been a partner, maybe with the county on that. They would have been a partner with us, kind of the other way around. But those funds would have stayed here in the city. So let's see here. So that is 155.23, and we are going to leave that on. So we can read that a little further, look a little further into that, and get some more information after a couple more meetings to put that together. On to ordinance 156.23, a motion to read by title or number.
I'll make a motion to read by title and number.
Second.
All right, first and second. Clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 156-23, sponsored by Andrew Hill. An ordinance amending section 1479 of the codified ordinances.
So this one is just amending the ordinance that's already in place to add to that ordinance to allow the city to participate in this type of program. Is that correct? Okay.
156?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just updating the code to add the land bank information.
And it's the memorandum of understanding between the City of London and Madison County Land Reutilization Corporation. So it's the MOU that they need to have in place in order to help solidify all of this. All right, and we want to leave that one as well. All right, on to Resolution 157.23, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, first and second. Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 157-23, sponsored by Brian Robinson. A resolution authorizing the advertisement for bids for personal property no longer needed for city purposes.
So the next few are going to be all basically the same. Bill came to us, he has some equipment that's laying around that is not being used and it's just taking up space. So we have to give him authorization to go out and find bids to sell it. So the first one is a manure sprayer that they got, 10 years ago, Bill? 9 years ago? Maybe more than that? Yeah, and you've used it, 2 times, 3 times? So it's just something that's taking up space.
15, 20 years.
Yeah.
It's nice to know we don't have a lot of stuff to spread in it.
It wasn't used to spread manure. It was used for leaves? Oh, okay. I thought you said that it was used for leaves. Okay, thanks for the update.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions? I'll make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Second.
All right, first and second. Clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Councilman East,
Yes.
Councilman Robinson,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl,
Yes, moved it up.
Second.
All right, first and second for adoption. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilman Robinson,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl.
Yes.
Resolution 158.23, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 158-23, sponsored by Brian Robinson. A resolution authorizing the advertisement for bids for personal property no longer needed for city purposes.
So the same thing, he's got a trailer over there that's just taking up space. They don't have any use for it. So just given authorization to put it out for bid.
I don't recall that we discussed this one. I did recall the manure spreader and the 2 mowers. I don't recall this one.
What's the trailer, Bill? So just so everybody can hear, anything under $1,000, he doesn't need our authorization. Anything that would bring in over $1,000, he needs. So with this, if he just wants to make sure his I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So if anybody got any questions,
So was this is one that was brought to the council or not?
he just said he had equipment. And I asked.
Oh,
He said there's
okay.
some other
This was-
equipment that may come into it. So
Okay.
I know we know about the 2 lawnmowers and manure, and he also said there might be other equipment. So
Okay.
this is the
Handmade trailer.
handmade trailer. So I'll make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Second.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilman Robinson,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl.
Yes, move to adopt.
Second.
All right, first and second for adoption. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilman Eads,
Yep.
Councilman Robinson,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl.
Yes.
Resolution 15923, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 159-23, sponsored by Brian Robinson, a resolution authorizing the advertisement for bids for personal property no longer needed for city purposes.
So this is just along the same lines. He's got 2 mowers, so 59 and 60 are going to be, they're separate, but they're the same thing. Just giving him authorization to sell the mowers. We've got new mowers now, so these aren't being used. Are they broke down currently? Are they still functional? Okay, they're still functional, but
And this was a 2018.
2018, yeah.
Okay.
2019.
Yeah, they both say 18 on them.
Well, let's amend that.
Yeah, so I make a motion to amend.
Okay,
Let's
well,
see
let's,
here. Let me take a look, because that was in the first batch that we received. Here goes the second batch. Let me see here. Yep, she did. They're both here. She sent them
Oh,
separately.
sorry.
Let me see here. Right here.
Where's that?
She sent them separately. Corrections on those. And they do say 19, so we don't have to amend those,
I
right?
don't think I got that email. 'cause
Okay,
I don't
well, I
have
have them right here.
it. Okay,
And
so it's
19.
2019 Hustler X1 lawn
And then
mower.
here's the next one.
Okay.
Change that too.
So it just gives him authorization to go out and receive bids. So, does anybody got any questions?
we're gonna advertise for bids, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Second.
All right, first and second. Clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilman Robinson,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl,
Yes, move to adopt.
Second.
All right, first and second for adoption. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilman Robinson,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl.
Yes.
All right, on to Resolution 16023, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 160-23, sponsored by Brian Robinson, a resolution authorizing the advertisement for bids for personal property no longer needed for city purposes.
Just like the last one, it's a 2019 Hustler X1 lawnmower. Just giving authorization to advertise for bids because it's no longer needed. Any questions? Make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Second.
All right, first and second. Clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilman Robinson,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl,
Yes, move to adopt.
Second.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilman Robinson,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl.
Yes.
All right. On to roundtable. We'll begin with Mr. Eads.
Mayor Closser, I have a couple questions from your part earlier, if you don't mind. When you advised you're going to be checking the lines, the sanitary sewer lines, and to see where the problems are, is this going to be mapped properly somewhere? Are we going to keep a record of that so we know that whatever we don't get to right now?
Yes.
Okay. And those are going to be kept someplace that we can find, I hope.
Yes.
So, okay.
Where are those going to be kept at?
Well, probably at the sewer department, but we'll have copies too. And technology now, it's not just going to be old paper maps everywhere, right? It'll all be probably via Dropbox or zip files or whatever.
Right, we
however they do
understand
it.
that, but, you know, there's different areas that have access to different things, so, you know, is there a certain department that's gonna have access to those
Sewer,
Dropbox?
it's sanitary sewers, project, so sanitary sewer.
So, yeah, and with technology, do we have a mapping program? Or we're just gonna have the list of those, then those will be kept? We don't have a mapping program, do we? That we can,
Yeah, we do have a sanitary sewer mapped. Yeah, it's all, yep,
okay,
it's all been GPSed.
okay. Thank you for that.
That's good to know.
And then also so you make almost every meeting, so I'm not criticizing if you miss a meeting. The abatement procedure, the Kenny Station Apartments, when they came in, it seemed to be a little contradictory from what they discussed and what your email might have been a little bit. The gentleman that came in basically said he talked to you and they were given criteria of 50% or 75%, and that's changed, and that's why they're coming to us. And it didn't really appear in the email that you sent,
No.
Mayor, that it was that way when you specifically mentioned the
Yeah.
schools and that we've
No,
never...
I can explain it to you. So if anyone ever contacts me about abatements, I pretty much tell them all the same thing. Here's what you would do. You would ask the city for an abatement. Whatever abatement you would like, you would ask the city. It would then go to finance because all abatements have to go through city council. So I always ask, if you have a proposal on an abatement, send it to us, let us look it over, and then we'll send it over, and then it's ultimately your guys' decision. So when I had the initial discussions with a gentleman from there, not the gentleman that came to the meeting, we spoke a lot about the schools. And I told him, I said, you know, it's tough to abate apartments because it puts a strain on the schools. So you're taking away the school's big money resource, which is property tax, but you're going to add kids to the school, right? So I said, you know, I would doubt that the school would ever go for an abatement, 100% abatement to a property. And he said, well, yeah, but cities can do 50% abatements by themselves. So all I did was correct him and said, actually, the state of Ohio changed all that, and cities can now give 75% abatements without having to go to the schools to get permission for the abatement. So I was just wide open with him and just explained everything to him. I think it's a very slippery slope to get into abating apartments, because if you give one, you're going to have to probably give them all, right? Mm-hmm. And we're going to see more apartments come down the line, and you'll probably see some that are 150 units, right? This is a 55 unit. And then, so say we give them a 75% property tax abatement, and they add 50, 75 kids to the school, that's a pretty big strain on the school, and now they don't have the proper funding that they would have if that property tax was there, in my eyes. So I just give them the information that I have and let them make their own decisions, and they come up with their own abatements. You know, we talked about when the Sovereign Village abatement came through, we knew that was going to be a 55 plus, right? Everybody living there was going to be 55 plus. So there's not going to be a lot of kids living out there. So it's not really going to be a drain on the school. And as well, they brought in a restaurant, which was something that we, the citizens, everybody was kind of looking for, to bring a new restaurant to town. So every abatement's different. It's all written different. You can ask for up to 15 years and 100%, or anywhere below that. And that's a discussion I had with their team.
Okay. Now, do we have, because this sounds like it's a little bit of, it's a little loosey-goosey in that we don't have, or maybe we do have and I just haven't seen it. Do we have an actual procedure to follow? Can we check the boxes and say that we've checked this with the school, or we've done this, or, you know, is there anything like that
Yeah,
can be used by you as the administrative part, or by finance, or by council to follow and just follow along and check this off as we
Yeah,
go?
it's all ORC, so we have to do the CRAs, the steps you have to follow, it's all written out, I believe, in the ORC that says, first it would go to city council would have to pass it, if it passes that, it goes to the school board would have to pass it at that point, if it is over, I believe, 75% in 10 years. If it's over that, it has to go to the schools. So in my email, that's why I talked about, you know, you might want to talk to the schools, because I don't know how well they would be in favor of abating apartments, right?
Now, generally, too, don't we send this, at least discuss this with the schools before we proceed further, knowing if it's going to possibly go through the schools first or not?
It won't, it goes through us first.
Well, it goes through us first, but isn't it something that we discuss with the schools?
Anything that's under the 75% in 10 years, yeah, I discuss with the schools, and I would ask that you guys reach out to their board members and discuss those, or go to their school board meeting and talk to them about it. But I do have those conversations with them, and you know, school boards are a little bit tougher on abatements than we are, because our money comes from income tax. Their big money, the majority of their money comes from a property tax. We're abating property taxes. We don't get a very large portion of property taxes, so it really doesn't hurt us financially when we give an abatement. But we still want to be a good partner with the school and make sure that we're not overwhelming them by giving out abatements just kind of willy-nilly to whoever asks for one.
Well, Mayor, that was left on for the next finance meeting.
And I contacted the gentleman and told him, he asked what happened. I spoke to Kenna. Kenna gave me all the information, and I expressed that to him, that, you know, there was a representative here, but there was supposed to be someone else, and you guys kind of asked for, like, hey, give us your spiel in a way, in a presentation. And he was like, well, I'm just kind of here. I don't have anything. The other guy wasn't able to come, and you guys asked for them to come back at the next meeting, and they said they'll be at the next meeting. That's what they told me.
Okay, thank you for that.
Not a problem.
And then the next part, Henry, to finish up, for my roundtable. Just to remind everyone that there is an election coming up. The fire levy is on that. That is a 0.25% increase in property taxes to help fund our fire department. I'll ask people now that I'm convinced that they need that, so I'm asking people to support that. However, I was a little concerned at a previous meeting when we kind of wanted to discuss the what-if plans. If this does not pass, what are we going to do? What if this doesn't pass? What are we going to do? If there are plans, well, they haven't been shared with the Finance Committee, so we have no idea. And our auditor also wasn't aware of any plans at that time. Now, there may be now, but I haven't seen any. We're only a couple weeks away, and we may have to really buckle down and find a way to get through this. And as a council, and make some changes, maybe drastic changes to how things, you know, the money that's out there and what we're going to do. And we need to be concerned with that. So, you know, I don't, maybe somebody else has seen plans, maybe the safety committee's seen plans, but finance has not yet. So I am concerned about that moving forward, but let's just hope that it goes through and we don't have to worry about this so much.
Now, I had the same concerns the last several times that the issue has been on the ballot, is what are our plans if it does not pass? And, you know, the past couple times it has not passed, and now we're looking at it again. So, you know, I would like to know what plans we do have in place if it doesn't pass again.
Well, we are hoping that it passes, and if it does not, we will present the plan to you at the next finance meeting.
So is there no plan in place now, or you're going to come up?
That's what we're working on. We almost have it finalized.
Okay, can we hear some of the plan, or, you know, we would like to be, you know, at least know some of the plan that's in place, because this is going to affect us too. We're all here in the city together.
You're absolutely right. And when we finalize the plan, we'll get it to you guys. We're not going to give you an unfinished plan, and then someone say, well, that's not what you said. You guys said you were going to do this, not that, and now you're changing it. We want to make sure that we have this thing locked down, and we'll present at the next finance meeting, which would be 6 days after the election.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd still like to hear a proactive plan. By now, we're so close to the election, it would be good to hear if there was a plan finalized and already in place instead of a plan that's possibly put together as a reaction to if the plan passes or not, if the levy passes or not. By now, there should be finalization on everything. We should have it, and we should know exactly what we're going to do instead of reacting to if it passes or not.
Thank
On
you.
to Mr.
Thank you.
Robinson.
I don't have much. I just,
Is that funny? Mr. Mayor?
No, it's not funny. It's
Because if
we're-
the fire
there's
levy,
people
if the fire
grandstanding.
levy,
Well,
excuse
okay.
me, I'm talking. If the fire levy doesn't pass, that's going to be very serious. It's not going to be anything to laugh at. So I see you down there laughing and sniggering off the camera, but this is a serious issue. We have people's lives at stake. We have jobs at stake. We have this issue has been on the levy multiple times, and I think it's interesting that you find it funny, to laugh about this item. But thank you. On to Mr. Robinson.
so I don't have much. On a lighter note, I went to the London Marathon this past weekend, and it was a great turnout. I don't understand how people find it fun to run 13 miles, but
We're 26.
or that.
Marathon's 26. not
26.
13, yeah.
I mean, my wife ran into it. I know she's crazy, but it was a great turnout, and it raised a lot of money. A lot of people got to see our city, so I think we got to keep making strides to make our city look better, because there was a lot of out-of-towners that came into our city to see what we have to offer. But it was a job well done by Dave Mars. I know he put a lot of work into it. And other than that, that's all I got.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hayes.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I want to thank all city employees for jobs well done. I'd like to speak on the fire levy. It's a 0.25. Am I wrong, or is this an income tax levy, not property tax? Okay, I think Mr. Eads stated property tax, and I wanted to clarify that. But for what you get, these guys are professionals, they're trained, and I know where I live, they're in and out of there at least 3-4 times a day. It makes no difference whether it's a heart attack or an older person has fell and the wife can't get them up. They come and they help, and they get these people up and get them back in bed or what have you. But they do a lot of things that you don't know about because the siren isn't going, the lights aren't going. And I would just say to everybody in the city of London, we need to have our fire and we need to have our EMS. Lives depend on it. And I can't stress that enough. Lives depend on it. If you're having a heart attack, you've got about 3-4 minutes. These guys are there usually in 3. If you fall and you cut yourself and you're bleeding, you've got a few minutes and you could lose your life. But we need our fire and we need our EMS. I don't know how to say it any more fervently than I have tonight. And I just hope that everybody will push aside to 0.25. It's not that much. And if you're a retired person, it costs you nothing. I want to state that again. If you're retired, it costs you absolutely nothing, and it may save your life. I'd like to just thank my council members. Job well done tonight. Just ask the Lord to watch over our city and our citizens, keep us all safe and well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hitt.
Yeah, just make sure everyone gets out and votes. Make sure you get your opinion voiced through your vote. And that's it.
All right, thank you. Mr. Stahl.
I spent the day yesterday in the city of Groveport. We received our 37th Tree City USA Award. It's a community improvement initiative from the Arbor Day Foundation in cooperation with the National Association of State Foresters and the USDA Forest Service. It provides basic framework for communities to grow and maintain their tree cover. Annual City Awards program is a time for communities to celebrate their Tree City USA status and be recognized for their work. We had over 150 people there, over 40 cities and villages and college campuses. And they said a couple new people was interested in it, and it was Plain City and Mount Sterling. I talked to them if they needed any help to become a Tree City. And the mayor told me he'd like to host it sometime, so we're going to be doing it in 2025. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And again, I'd just like to thank everyone for viewing online and for being in our audience today. Thanks to all of our councilmen up here this evening. And we do have an election coming up. And, you know, I ask you to go out and exercise your right to vote. We have this American flag right here. A lot of people died for that flag just so that we would have a right to be represented and to voice our opinion at a poll. There's a lot of countries, they don't have that opportunity, but we do have that here in the United States. So go out to the polls and voice your opinion so that your opinion and your voice can be heard. And with that, a motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn.
Hey, Brad, do you remember what, I forget what the password is for this to turn it off? Expedition, okay, that's what I was missing.
Appreciate you.
When you go for your vacation, did they reschedule?
Hey, next Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then the following week on Tuesday.
It's gonna come,
I think the chiropractor on my wrist. I did something to it. It's like,
Oh,
feel
thank
like
you, I appreciate it.
yeah, I have
Well,
it here ready.
Lord,
and it's
take
like
care of
inflating
it.
everything. Like I can barely bend it right now.